welcome back to my channel. For today's video we have my 2020 makeup favourites. I will also be doing a skincare favourites from 2020 and that should be my next video this week. But for today's video I want to concentrate on just makeup items and we do have 15 here to go through, so why don't we get started. I'll start first of all with something that technically isn't makeup but it is a tool, but I felt it fell more into this category than skincare, and that is the Cosmetic Sponge. This one is literally fresh out of the box because it's the sponge that I used today and I thought you would prefer to see a clean one rather than one caked in foundation. But it is a Hourglass sponge, which I have realised in the past year is definitely my favourite type of sponge. I did used to always prefer the Real Technique sponges, but after trying a few of this shape sponge, I do definitely prefer this shape now. I think the first sponge I tried like this was the one from Quo, which I do really like, but that is a Canadian brand that I'm not able to get here in the UK, so I have found this one from BH Cosmetics to be a really good alternative, if not slightly better. This is a really affordable sponge. I think it's usually £5, but the two that I have I did buy for half price or on sale anyway, so this is one that I will continue to purchase and I'm so glad that I found it. It is a nice amount of density to it. It's not too firm but it's not too soft, and I just love how it applies my makeup, and also grow to a decent size once you use water with it as well, but it is one in a pinch I can use dry too. So this is my first favourite. It is a brow product and this is the Artery brow from Soap and Glory. This is a spoolie on that side, and then on the other side is a fine tipped brow pencil. This is one that I did definitely fall in love with this year. I did first try a fine brow pencil in the Precisely My Brow from Benefit, but I do much prefer the effect this one gives my brows. The Precisely My Brow is not the best shade match for me, the one that I have, whereas this, which I think it might just be the shade brown, yes, it's just the shade brown, this is a really good shade match for me, and I find when I've got the time to apply this one, my brows just look nice and naturally filled in, so this one has definitely been a hit this year. Then I fell in love with quite a few products from Ofra Cosmetics. I do believe that this year was my first time trying this brand, and I did start off with a couple of liquid lipsticks and I do really like their liquid lipstick formula, but I did want to mention in this video a shade specifically, and this is the shade Story. This was a product that was actually released in collaboration with Samantha March, and it is actually the lipstick that I'm wearing on my lips today. Very proud of myself for remembering to do that because that is not normally the case, but it is such a gorgeous deep rich mauvey pink and I just love how it looks on my lips, and I say I already did love the Ofra lipstick formula. When I went to apply this today I realised that I didn't actually have too much left in the tube, so this is one that I probably am going to have to be purchased very soon. I did buy this as a lip duo with the Millie gloss, which is a sheer gloss with a lot of shimmer to it. I do really like the gloss formula, I'm just not a huge fan of shimmery glosses, so I don't absolutely love the gloss, but now I'm very happy that they do sell these separately, and I think I can get them both separately on Beauty Bay as well. So when this one does run out I will definitely be picking up another one because I do just love the shade and I reach for it all the time. And the next Ofra product is again from the collaboration with Samantha March, and this is the Start Inspired Highlighter. This is a super blinding highlighter, which isn't my normal preference. I do tend to prefer more of a kind of natural glowy highlighter, but I did want to support Samantha and I also was really intrigued by the formula, so I thought I would give this one a go. I do love that it has the two different shades, which are Pillow Talk and Star Island. I can't remember which way around they are, but I tend to just go in to the centre of this pan and mix both of these shades together, and it does create a gorgeous shade. I have gone in with them individually as well and they are really pretty shades, but I do much prefer the combined look of them together. This is a highlighter I know I'm going to continue reaching for, and it is making me want to use more blinding highlights because of trying this one. Generally the formula of this highlighter is amazing and I love the two shades that she paired together to create this Start Inspired highlighter, and I think she just did such a great job with the collaboration. And then the final favourite from Ofra is this blush. This is in the shade Rose and is just one of their mini blushes. I did actually just pick this one up on a whim. I think I needed to spend a few more pounds to get free shipping when I was purchasing from Beauty Bay, and this was in the sale at the time and was only I think about £5. So I thought I would give it a go and see what it's like, and I absolutely love this blush. I really love the tone of the pink to it. It is a really natural looking nice flush of colour, but you can also sort of build it up and it look quite pigmented, and it is just really smooth to apply. So I am really glad that I did pick this one up, and again, it's something that I do want to keep reaching for over and over. So for me, looking at the favourites that I have in front of me, Ofra has definitely been my kind of brand of the year. My next favourite is from Huda Beauty, and this is the Legit Lashes Mascara. If you have been subscribed to my channel for a while, this will be no surprise to you at all. I have absolutely loved this mascara. I think I've had this in my everyday makeup drawer for the past 6 months because I just wanted to use it as much as I could before it expired. It does have two sides here. We have volume and we have curl and length. That is the volume side, and then that is the curl and length side. It's not just the brushes, I do believe it is two completely different formulas as well. I love each of these formulas individually, and I also love them layered. I generally am not a person that likes to layer my mascara. If I can get away with just one coat, then I'm more than happy to do that, because I don't really like when mascara starts to clump up. But with this one, it does take quite a few layers before it does get spidery like, so it is definitely one that works well for me. It is quite a pricey mascara. It is around the £24 mark, but because you are getting basically two full-size mascaras, I think you definitely do get your money's worth, provided you are able to use the mascara up in the kind of time before it expires. But yeah, overall a great mascara. But this has definitely been the #1 mascara that I tried last year, and it is one that I have already repurchased and I'm excited to start using again. My next favourite is a foundation, and this one is from Colourpop. This is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. When I first heard about this one, it did seem to have a lot of rave reviews, so I did really want to give it a go. My problem ordering from Colourpop is that I do always have to do it online, so when it comes to shade matching things like foundation, it is always a problem. I did go for the shade Light 55N, and this is a pretty good shade match for me. It's not absolutely perfect, but I think it's probably as close as I'm going to get. I don't know whether if I go to repurchase this one I will try another shade, or I'll just stick with this one because it does work pretty well for me. It is a really nice buildable coverage. I would say it runs more medium. It does just look really healthy on the skin, and this is one that I have been reaching for a lot since I tried it, and it is definitely my favourite foundation that I tried last year. Next we have another blush product, and this is a blush palette from BH Cosmetics. This is the Vanilla Cream Truffle palette, and is a 4-pan blush palette. They do have these in about, I think, 8 different variations for all different skin tones, but this is the one that drew me in the most, as I definitely do prefer a pink blush. It does have 4 gorgeous shades in here, and every single one I do enjoy reaching for. This one down the bottom here is probably my least reach for one, but only because it is so pigmented. It does blend out really nice, but I'd much rather go in with these two because these are a lot more kind of my speed. All 4 blushes in this are absolutely gorgeous. The shades of them are so pretty, and the formula of these are really nice as well. They do apply really smoothly, they don't show any texture or anything like that, and they are really easy to blend out. Like I say, with this one, because it is quite pigmented, if you do have the time to work with it, you can make it look more sheer. I think my most reached for blush in here is probably this one up here. I don't think they have shade names, but yeah, this one is definitely my favourite in this palette, and I am so glad that I picked this up. If they did bring out any more sort of pink shades in this formula, I would definitely pick up another palette. Next we have a favourite setting powder from last year, and this is from Beauty Bakery. This is the Flower Setting Powder. Because it's highly reflective, I'm going to hold it like this because I don't know if you'll be able to see what's behind you, and I don't have a monitor to check, so better safe than sorry. I'm just going to hold it like this. This is definitely my favourite setting powder that I tried last year. It is something that I did get in a Feel Unique beauty kit in just a mini, but I did end up going on to purchase the full size. The only reason I didn't go through the mini first was because the packaging in the mini, it didn't have a sifter or anything like this one has, so it did kind of go everywhere when you opened it. So I thought I would just get the bigger one, have the sifter. And then I did say I would pour the mini into this, which I have already done. The lid on the top was quite easy to remove and put back securely in place, which I'm really glad about. So now this has the full contents of the full size, plus about half left of what was in the mini tub. I haven't yet opened this one because I haven't used it since, but I am now really excited to have it with a sifter and be able to use it properly. But this is such a gorgeous setting powder. It is really finely milled, and it does just give you that kind of airbrushed look. I do have, I believe, combination skin, so I do get a couple of oily areas, mainly in my T-zone, and it does definitely help combat that. But then just generally all over my face, it just does make everything look airbrushed. I do generally have a problem with applying powders to my nose. They always seem to go cakey there, so I do tend to avoid that. But when testing a new powder out, I do like to see how it fares, and this is the only powder that I've tried in the last couple of years that hasn't gone cakey on my nose, so it is now making me want to powder my nose again. But yeah, absolutely great product, and I'm so glad I tried it. I have 2 more complexion products, and then I'll finish on a few lip favourites that I have. It was always going to be the case that I had multiple lipstick favourites, especially because at the moment the main things I am reaching for are brow products, lipsticks and mascaras, so I'm not surprised with the variation of the favourites in this video. So the next complexion product is this highlighting powder from Flower Beauty. This is just called their Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette, and it does contain 3 different shades of highlighters. This space here did have a brush in it, but it was a really annoying brush, so I've just put it to the side. So we have a sort of peachy toned highlighter, a pink highlighter, and then a gold one here. This peach toned one is definitely my favourite, but I do enjoy reaching for all 3. Before trying the one from Ofra Cosmetics, these were definitely the most blinding highlighters in my collection. These are great in that they are really striking, but not too much, and they definitely don't emphasise texture or anything like that, and they do just look really pretty on the skin. They do catch the light beautifully. This is a gorgeous palette and quite affordable too. And then my final complexion favourite is this palette from Natasha Denona. This is the Mini Blush and Glow palette. So this does contain a highlighter and a blush. This is a shimmery blush, which isn't my usual personal preference. I do much prefer a matte blush, but for this one I'm kind of willing to make an exception because this does look absolutely gorgeous on the cheeks. It does look really bright and pigmented in here, but it is really nice and blendable, and you can have the bright shade, but I do always tend to sheer it out. And then this highlighter in here is absolutely gorgeous. It is a not subtle but also not blinding. It's kind of like a middle of the road highlighter, but it does just look absolutely gorgeous when it catches the light. So I believe these mini palettes from Natasha Denona are only, I think it's £16, and I think they are well and truly worth it. I did expect the pan sizes to be actually smaller than they are because Natasha Denona is such a high-end brand, but because of the amount of blushes and things I have in my collection, I'm happy to go with a mini because I'm never going to go through a full size, and I am really glad that I picked this one up. I've realised that I don't have any bronzer favourites from this year, and I think that is because my 2 favourite bronzers are ones that I did actually find in 2019. That is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. I don't know how many times I've said this year, but I'm actually filming this on the last couple of days of 2020, so I need to try and remember that this is going up in January. But when I say this year, I mean 2020. And finally, my other lipstick favourites. The first one is from Sigma. This is one of their liquid lipsticks in the shade Dapper. I believe this is the liquid lipstick that was released with the Untamed palette, and I first seen this swatched by that girl Shay when she did the live swatching of the palette, and I thought the shade was absolutely gorgeous. And then I did actually find this for sale on Beauty Bay. I think it might have been half price, so I thought I would give it a go. I have tried the Sigma Beauty Infinity Point lipsticks this year, but I wasn't a huge fan of that at all, so I was a bit wary trying their liquid lipsticks, but I was pleasantly surprised. This is such a nice formula. It is really comfortable on the lips. It isn't drying at all, and I do rate it as highly as the one from Ofra Cosmetics. The shade as well, which actually looking at them both in the tube is quite similar to Story. It does look quite similar on the lips, but this one I think is ever so slightly more pinky toned, and it does fade down gracefully. When this fades down, you don't notice it at all, and that is great. I did actually wear this one on Christmas Day, and it definitely did last a long time throughout the course of the day, even with eating and drinking. And believe me, I ate and drank a lot, so I'm so glad that I did not let the bullet lipstick put me off, and I did actually give this one a go because it has become a favourite. The lip favourite is these lip balms from Pat McGrath. I did buy these as a set of 3. The one I have here is in the shade Flesh 3, and I think out of the 3, this one is probably my favourite. It does look very pigmented in the bullet, but it does just go on as a really nice sort of warm berry toned lip. It is really sheer when it goes on because it is only a lip balm, but it does just make your lips look really healthy. I did get a clear in the set and then also a nude one. I'm not a fan of the nude one because it is quite pale, so it doesn't look the best, but formula wise it is definitely one of the best lip balms I have ever tried. It isn't oily or greasy or anything on the lips, it does just make your lips feel sort of nice and soft and pillowy almost. I believe I got this set for £10 for the 3, but even when I am able to get through them all, if I go through all of these lip balms from this collection, I will definitely look to purchase more because it is a great lip balm and it has definitely been a saviour of my lips in the winter. Then while we're talking about high-end brands, my next favourite is Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of her Matte Revolution lipsticks in the shade Pillow Talk Medium. I did buy this in a duo set with the original Pillow Talk, which I'm not a huge fan of. I do much prefer the colour of this one. So this is a very warm brown pink nude, whereas Pillow Talk is definitely a more lighter pink shade, but I do just love how this looks on the lips. All 3 of these lipsticks, and probably the next one I'm going to include as well, are all very similar shades, and it's definitely the shades I've been drawn towards this year. I feel like in 2019 I was more into sort of pink lipsticks, whereas this year I've definitely been into more brown, pink, rosy shades, more mauvey shades and things like that. And again, as you can see from the lipsticks I've showed you and about to show you, they're all a very similar shade. The Matte Revolution formula from Charlotte Tilbury is definitely not my 100% favourite ever bullet lipstick formula, but because I love the shade of this one so much, that's why I did want to include it in this video. And at the point I was counting up, I had 14 and I needed a 15th product, and this was the one that sprang to mind. So I do absolutely love the shade and I do like the formula, I just don't absolutely 100% love it. So this is kind of like a half favourite, mainly just for the shade. But I'm really glad that I picked up a set and not just went for the normal Pillow Talk when I made my purchase. And then my final lipstick favourite and favourite of the video is this lipstick from Juvia's Place. This is one of their new velvet matte lipsticks and I got this one in the shade Me. I do like the way that they have released these lipsticks and that they've released them all in colour stories. So they've released 4 lipsticks per sort of colour family. So this one I believe was part of the nudes family. They also have chocolates, pinks, and I think they have peaches as well. And they have more recently released reds and berries. I was nearly drawn to one of the pinker toned ones, but I decided in the end to go for one of the more nude ones. Again, looking at my past history, and as you can see from the shade, it is very similar to all of the other lipsticks that I've shown you today, but it is a gorgeous colour on the lips, obviously my preference, and the formula itself is so nice and the name does definitely suit it. It is a velvet matte, it is so comfortable, it's one of those lipsticks that you almost don't feel like you're wearing a lipstick, and it does fade down really gracefully as well. It's not drying at all considering it is a matte lipstick, and I am quite tempted to possibly pick up another shade. At the time I'm filming this, they do have a 50% sale going on the website, so I am quite intrigued to possibly pick up another shade, but the problem will be deciding which one. But yeah, I'm glad I've tried this formula, and I think these are $14 normally. So that is all my makeup favourites from 2020. Let's see what this year has in store for makeup discovery. I will be filming my makeup brands I want to try in 2021, and I think that will be going up in a week or so. I am still trying to decide which brands I want to put on that list. But other than that, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.